Hello, everybody. I'm just reading through your chats about pills. Um, yes, I believe there was a red pill and a blue pill, but the Discord API pill. Yes, there was a green logo and a red logo. I actually originally took that picture of my two hands in a like pick one type of thing, and then when I started editing the video, or the thumbnail, I was like, maybe it's kind of like a blue pill, red pill thing, and I didn't know. I a bit loony to the Discord one. I have started to look at the Discord one. It is almost identical in its authentication steps as Spotify. Um, it does OAuth. You need to go get a code. You then authorize with that code, and then you do refresh tokens. Not clear whether the refresh token ever expires. I know for certain it doesn't on Spotify. But yeah. I don't know if one exists already, Samuel. I'd be interested. Maybe you were you were on one of the Makercasts Meyer makes, I think. Bearer tokens, beer tokens, bearer. Um, so I seen him in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but I guess it's only about 2 minutes in, so probably. So Dustin Watts did a few live streams a while back where he integrated Alexa. Sorry if I kicked off all your things there. He integrated his Amazon talkie thingy to to his stream. I can't even fully remember. Did he? I can't even fully remember what you did, Dustin. Did you talk to it and tell it? Oh no! When somebody typed a message to you, it played it back, right? Um, yeah. So that was fine. That's good to know, Dave. I do my best thinking there. But yeah, when somebody sent a message, it would go, Brian has said blah 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 blah. And I was like, that's interesting. Like, what else could you do with that, right? And you you see people doing integration of stuff with the Twitch chat all the time, and I don't know if he's still running it, but Acrobatic has a Twitch channel, um, and he has like LEDs that he's controlling, using the Twitch commands. And if any of you are long-term viewers of my live streams, you'll know that at one stage we set up an RGB LED matrix, which everybody's gonna laugh that I said orgy. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, where like we set that up that you could draw. Now his is cooler because he's doing it directly on the ESP. I had set up a little node project that would listen for the chat commands and then send it over a WebSocket. But why can't you do it using YouTube? And I think you should. And then it came up again actually on I see Make Me Labs is here, Eric. It came up again on his Discord. I think people are literally trying to just put me off USB 3. It came up again on Eric's Make Me Labs Discord. I can't remember who was looking for it exactly, but I did a little bit of looking into it at that stage, and I kind of figured out what would need to be done. And I think it will require 2 requests up front, and then a third one over and over again to get if there's any messages or whatever. But what I was thinking this might be really useful for is, say, for example, I'm not sure if David has stopped streaming now, but earlier he was streaming and he was talking and he was full into it, hands. He looked really like animated. It looked like it was real important what he was saying. And he was muted, and it was a good like 2 minutes of people going, David, you're muted, you're muted, you're muted, you're muted. He's the best. David, like, I loved when he just like dropped the sorry in or whatever. But like, wouldn't it be cool if there was, like, say your mods or whatever could issue a command in the chat that would like light up an LED? Or maybe if down the road, if there was a super chat or something, set off something behind you, or really anything. Like, people have said it to me on my Discord about they don't get notifications when people go live. So maybe this library could also be used for like buzzer when someone goes live that you watch or whatever. Could be anything. Drawn a... He did have a long delay on his stream. I guess maybe he didn't have ultra low latency enabled. But yeah, it was like, oh, like he'd say something about like a chat that happened like minutes ago, and I was like, oh, maybe this is on my problem. Make an Alexa purchase. Yeah. I think it was 3 minutes. Adam, you mentioned about a Discord maker stream. That's interesting. We'll talk about it at some stage. Nearly all of us have individual Discords, so we can like scrap it out. I'm sorry about saying the A word. Yeah, Michael Reeves did have a horn. It was more than just a horn. It called out their name, didn't it? And he was like, I hate all of you individually. So he ran that on a Pi, and like, I don't know if you could read out someone's name using an ESP. Like, all it's really capable of doing is like sampling, right? But you could have... Well, also his thing wasn't with whose live streams, that was his subscribers, so you would need to make an OAuth call. And I really don't like the idea of making OAuth calls from an ESP that use your actual YouTube or Google account, right? Like, I think if you do it correctly, you shouldn't have any authentication or any issues in terms of like, you know, keeping your account safe. But like, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I have a serious problem if anybody ever got my Google account, like, which is what this YouTube channel is on. Like, my life is in that Gmail folder, you know, as in I would be in serious trouble. And making something on an ESP does, you know, it's not worth the risk for me. And I do not want to be responsible for anybody else for the same thing happening. Like, it would be possible to get the live YouTube subscriber counter back. Funny that you say that, Bitlooney. Their API document is version 3. You could get the live subscriber count somehow, right? You authenticate to the subscriber studio, or, you know, authenticate a request to the subscriber studio. But I just don't want to do it. I just don't think getting that exact number, like, is worth potentially sending out your Google account credentials somewhere they shouldn't. And I just do not want to be responsible to something like that happening, right? So that's what I do. Okay, so I didn't see a whole lot of love for Spotify, but so what we might just do is quickly go over where the Spotify account or Spotify library is, because I have done some work in it in the last week, and it's actually in a really good place. Yeah, Spotify. So yeah, I can quickly go over the Spotify stuff, and then we sounds like there's a lot of interest in the YouTube stuff. So let's see if we can do something with that. Yeah, push the token with my library. GitHub is down in Europe, though, is it? I've seen people complain about it on Twitter. Hello, Aaron. I did not watch any Apple conferences or anything. Yeah, GitHub is not responding. Okay, so I'll just show you locally, which means I'll also have to create this library locally. Where is my money? Do I owe somebody money? I don't think so. Get currently playing. This is the Spotify one. Yeah, hopefully I have all my most recent examples on it. It looks like I do. Okay. GitHub sponsor. So yes, yes, I'm really out of focus. So I have myself zoomed in because that webcam is quite far away, and if I just do it as me, this is, it's pretty empty. So I just zoom me in, but yeah, it's not the best of quality. Okay, so screen share plus desk. Yes. Okay, so Spotify, where I am with it at the moment. So what you would do is you would come in here. I've renamed some things, but so I've added an ESP32 examples as well. That camera was my new phone, Bitloony. I got a OnePlus 7 T, not 70, 7T, 7T. And yeah, that it is quite nice. How I hook my PC up to it, I do not know. Yeah, so we got the ESP32 examples as well as the ESP8266. So I've renamed the get auth token to be get refresh token. Let me just get rid of the split screen. Oh, no. Let's get rid of, I don't know how to use these. Okay, get currently playing. So I've gotten rid of all the file system stuff because the refresh token, let's get currently playing. Because the refresh token does not change between ever, right? So once you get one refresh token, you can use that to get authentication tokens over and over again. There is no need to write it to spiffs or file system or anywhere. So this get refresh token, it hosts a web server. You connect to that with your your PC. You click on the link, and what it does is it will ask you to log in, and you log in, and then you get redirected back to your ESP. And what it does is it takes the code that Spotify give back as a parameter, makes a request with that code to Spotify to get your refresh token, and then displays the refresh token on screen. So then you can now use that refresh token in the other examples. So you can just put that as part of your code, and you can then, in the setup, you refresh access token, and you just get a new access token, and you can make requests all along. So my Wi-Fi password is Caroline Bryan. So I am sure you could do it with NDI. I would never show anything like that, Bitloony. That specific website. Although you showed it in a live stream, didn't you? Well, no, not that website, but the fact that it was on your favorites or whatever. Yeah, so yeah, so it's working perfectly. So the only thing that's actually left to do with the Spotify library, other than some documentation, is the access token expires and I don't have any like example of how to renew it. Like if you just call this, it will renew it. But I'm not doing that at the moment. I think what I'll probably end up doing is just add a method kind of in before any call. So say like, not the request access token one, that doesn't make sense. But say like the player navigate one, like when it's going to expire, the token. So like it gives you back the time to live for the token. So that's 60 minutes. And like I'm doing this wrong here. I need to multiply that by I need to multiply that to get it into actual milliseconds. But like you could have a millis of when the token is about to expire saved here. So this is wrong. I think I just need to multiply it by 1,000. And because I don't trust BOMDAS, I'm just gonna put it in brackets. So then you just have to check, has your token expired before you make an authenticated request, and if it has, just refresh it. But that is that. So there we go. So that's what we have to do for this Spotify library, but not much love for the Spotify library in the chat. We have been streaming about it for over a month at this stage, so unsurprisingly. So yeah, let's look at what we need to do for the YouTube API one. Okay, so when I was talking to Mr. Watts, the Dustin version, so I found this project. So it's a Node.js project that gets YouTube live chats, right? And I was looking at this and I was like, hey, this is great. There's no OAuth here, right? There's a channel ID, which would be public. That's my channel ID. And then there's an API key, which would be similar to if anybody has done the like subscriber counter. I believe it's 40 days that it rolls over, and I don't know what would happen at that stage. Yeah, maybe we need to handle that some other way. Like you do see if you're like, we see the status codes that come back. So what's unauthenticated? 401. So maybe you check if you got a 401, you need to refresh. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Projects don't tend to last that long. I'd like to see the operation when it's completely finished. The Spotify thing will become a video at some stage. Yeah, that's it, Pitlooney. Like, listen, do people have ESPs running for that long? Possibly not. I would like, the Spotify thing will become a video, because I still, like, the whole purpose of me making that Spotify library was to make a remote for my daughter to, like, be able to control when it's playing on Big A from Amazon. And like, I will do that at some stage. So I was mentioning in the sponsors video that I put out yesterday that, like, I've been looking at this screen. I think it's an ST7789, and it's quite nice. I haven't done a huge amount with it, but I think I'd like to make a shield or something using that. Or maybe not even a shield, or maybe a full board. But I don't know if I want to wait that long to make the Spotify video, like, because I haven't done anything with that. So, like, maybe I would use like Unexpected Makers Tiny Pico Play Shield. Like, the big advantage of that as well is, it has the slot for the battery, and I have it here, and it has 4 buttons on it and a screen, and it'll be fine. ESP moon landing rockets. You just have 5 and hope it doesn't crash. Yeah, it's Mrs. A. Yeah, big A in the sky. Yeah, so this thing here, it doesn't have any authentication, right? So it just does whatever, and it starts listening and displaying messages. And then if you look at the source code of it, so I forgot the GitHub is struggling. No, maybe I was well, sugar lumps. It doesn't matter because I've dug out. Here we go. So this is fine, right? They have this constructor and it does a get live. And this makes a request to the search API where you pass in the channel ID, and maybe there's a possibility of even passing in multiple channel IDs here. We'll see how that goes on. I've seen some Europeans complain about it anyways on Twitter, so I think they're just having a bad time. Yeah, so it makes a search on YouTube for event type live, and it's using channel ID. So that would be my channel ID. I don't know what it is. Type equals video and key equals this key, which is the API key. So that's fine. And it gets back a live ID, right? So it gets back a list of items that match that search. If you've searched for just one channel ID, it will only return you back one potential video, and that gives you a live ID. So this stream right now should have a live ID, and we'll test that out. And okay, so you then use your live ID to make another request to the videos endpoint, getting the live streaming details using the live ID and your key again. And that brings you back, if it found it, live streaming details, active live chat ID, which gives you your chat ID. So now we've made 2 requests, and hopefully we now have a chat ID. And then you can make requests to the live chat messages using your chat ID, getting the snippet of text they sent, the author details, max results 2000. I think we'd have to make that a lot smaller for us. And then we should have the chats. Like what you're typing in a chat should come back. So we can then deal with it. So I don't know how well it would work on like a really busy stream. How do you select the type of messages, live or top? I would imagine you see live. I don't think you'd get to see top, right? I presume that's kind of a client side thing. But I don't know. How do they decide what's top or not? Well, let's find out. I have all these things open here. So like here's the search. Search looks pretty straightforward. Like I don't think we'd be doing anything different other than maybe passing in multiple channel IDs. Channel ID parameter indicating the API response should only contain resources created by this channel. So it's optional as well. So I guess that would be a disaster though to not have that. So it's not really optional for us. Yeah, it doesn't look like you could have multiples. So looks like that's a single channel ID. So if you wanted to make a thing that like buzzed when somebody you were subscribed to went online, it would be multiple requests to that endpoint for each different channel ID, I guess. Max results, they didn't pass it in, but we can pass it in to be 1 because we only want 1 back. It doesn't really make sense that more would come back anyways. It doesn't matter about order, and there's a ton of other stuff here that really doesn't matter a huge amount. So that's fine. We could do this one. like I don't see a problem with this. Even the response looks relatively small, which is good. Then you make a request to, what is it, this videos endpoint. Yeah, so you're passing in the ID of the video, live streaming details. Where is this? Source documentation. Format of a video response. I don't know. We seem to be a little bit. Would it be list? Yeah, so it's this list endpoint. So part that allows us to figure out what piece of data we want. You'll see these numbers here beside the each thing. So we're looking at live streaming details. That's a quota for each part. You have like 1 million quota points or something for the day. Yeah, you have 1 million units of a daily quota. So I guess you could only make requests for this 1 million divided by 2, so 500,000 times a day, which seems a lot. So I think we might be okay. Are you working on the stream API in the background? No, I wasn't. I just literally before I went live, I just went and dug out this documentation because I didn't think me looking for documentation would be the most interesting use of your time. So again, filters will be passing in an ID, which will be the filter. We have to specify one of these, and we're going to pass in an ID here. Optional parameters, like loads of weird stuff here. So yeah, response again, quite small. So all good. Yeah, you made something like that before to check if people were live. Was that directly using the YouTube API? You did that, Colin, did you? So you were kind of halfway here for me. And then the last one is the live chat messages ID. So again, we're just going to be passing in our live chat ID, and then our part. We'll see how that part thing works out. But again, same kind of deal here that, okay, this is quite big, but maybe we can limit it down to part, but we'll see how it ends up. So I guess the first thing we need to do is start making this search. Like, I don't know whether it's worth like building it into the other one, the YouTube like counter API. Like, that's really sort of on its own, doing its own thing. I like, is there anybody who wants to do these things to do the same thing? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? Like, who wants a subscriber counter built into the thing that checks if somebody's live? Maybe, but I think making them two separate libraries is probably no harm. Do I have Steam running in the background? Yes, almost certainly. Always Steam. Yeah, I think it makes sense to make it two, to be honest. Okay, so let's make a new folder, or normally, let's see if GitHub working again. That seems to be doing something. It's a new repository. Arduino, YouTube. Yeah, you see, I don't know if it is live stream specific. I might just say Arduino YouTube video API. That way. Maybe it's for live stream. What games have you got on Steam? Uh, what games do I have? I'm not playing a huge amount of games at the moment. Thank you very much for the donation, Mark. I have no idea. I can never convert. How do you even pronounce it? SEK? SEK? I think it's divided by 10, is it? But yes, figuring out how much somebody sent on a super chat might be interesting. Like maybe you have an LED matrix behind you. Maybe a certain bit loony would would have um, would have a big giant wall behind him that could display across a message. Um, no, Dustin did that. Oh, sorry, 33 and a 33.33. Uh, yeah, so no, Dustin Watts did that, Aaron. I just want to make the API to make it possible for us to do anything with it, right? That, like, say BitLooney just released a video with his big giant wall, his LED wall. Like maybe when he's live streaming next, he'd put like super chats up on the screen or anything. Like the use case I see it being quite useful for is like when I'm streaming and I'm showing you something like out of focus or something, like maybe mods or whatever. It can like they can send a message that like turns a light on in my room. 2000 Jago, Arduino crypto display. The CoinMarketCap library significantly changed their service. Sorry, CoinMarketCap API significantly changed their service where it basically wasn't free anymore, and I didn't port it to version 2 of their API, and they shut version 1 down. At one stage, I wrote a library to wrap a different one, and it didn't properly work. And that's kind of where I ended with that project. I don't really... yeah, it's problematic, Looney. So don't. Like, just show the name and the number, you know? Like, you don't have to put the message there. But you still have the same problem, right? That if Mark did a like a naughty thing in that message, it would still be there, right? In my chat feed, whether it's on my wall behind me or in the chat feed, it's still readable for people. But like I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that this is something that could be done. But yes, and if anybody is looking for like a visual representation of how that can go badly, there is a really funny video about I think it's called the Useless Duck Company. He had this talking banana on Twitch, and it was just like people were finding as many creative places to like, or creative ways to like make the banana say things it shouldn't. Moderator dedicated channel. Discord posts good questions that'll be read. Yeah, it's possible. €3. Money grows on trees. Yeah, that's possible. I don't know. 2000 Diego. I haven't done anything with cryptocurrency in quite some time. So I don't know off the top of my head if there is any good or bad sources for the prices or whatever. Destination path, come on. Documents, code. Okay, and Colin sent me the work that he did on the YouTube API. That will potentially be quite useful. It's like, if it's based on the old YouTube API code, I have changed it a little bit, but it's still definitely be good to see. because you had this actually working. So, how much is half a bread? That seems quite expensive. I would say in a large supermarket, a full slice or slice pan, so bread cut into sandwich slices, would be the most typical thing you'd buy. That'd be like €1.50 for a full one. Like half a one isn't half that price. They're normally like quite similar in price to the full one, but yeah. Yasir, I do not have any. I do not have any intention at the moment to update the YouTube library to use OAuth. Is there something? Is there something like a loaf? I don't know what I call it. A loaf. I call it. Yeah, I suppose a loaf of bread. Yeah, if somebody said get a loaf of bread, yes, that's what I would get. Yeah. When you're going to move to Berlin? There is a butter museum in Cork, and apparently people used to like send people there as kind of a joke. Like, oh, you should definitely go to the butter museum. But apparently it's quite good. Like Irish butter is held in quite high esteem, right? What did you say? A pan of bread? A slice pan is what somebody might say. Just do as I'm told. What am I doing? Okay, so I've created my repo. There is a certificate that's Spotify's public cert. So that was another thing I added to the Spotify API library is the ESP32 version is using the cert to like validate that you're actually talking to Spotify, which is quite nice. A slice pan is a loaf of bread, which is sliced, because maybe that's an Irish thing. Yeah, Kerrygold is really good, but like even like the Tesco butter or whatever is like basically Kerrygold here. They're all like really good butter. Yeah, a slice pan is like sandwich bread. Like what's a typical one in the UK? Like Hovis or someone. Hello, Dren. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do I want to save my changes? Probably. I don't know. Let's save it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so first thing we need is a source folder. I can't see. Let's make a source folder and start. I suppose we probably need like a library.properties. That's readme could never hurt as well, I suppose. Did I copy them right? I did. Readme, Arduino, YouTube, video API, an Arduino library to do stuff. And that's definitely changed. Properties, Arduino, what is it? Arduino, YouTube, video API, a library to do stuff. I'll write this out later because it's not particularly interesting to do it now. Okay, so this is just, if any of you haven't seen a library.properties file before, this is what gets searched on when you open the library manager. So this is the version number, blah, 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 blah. You can put it in categories. It doesn't seem to do any difference whatsoever. You can click a more info button that brings you to this URL. And then architectures. So you can specify that some libraries don't work with other architectures. I don't know if there's a specific ESP architecture, but you can definitely say, hey, I only work with the @mega families. So like if you had something that wrote to like EEPROM in a specific @mega way or whatever, you could just say I only work with @megas. So that's fine. So that's done. So then I have a source folder. So I'm gonna do new. I'm gonna do Arduino. Spelled correctly. Arduino. Spelled YouTube wrong, did I? No. Video. API.h. Looks like my library and stuff are in the source folder, which is not what I wanted to happen. And I'm not sure how to lift them out of the source folder. Yes, that's what I want to do. Yes, move. Okay, so I'm going to take the same name again. I'm going to just copy and paste it to make sure I get it the same. New file, and we'll make that our CPP. Okay. I don't know what an @WinC1500 is. Wi-Fi board. I don't have any plans to do it at the moment. Black pudding, I believe, is made of sheep's blood. Bit loony, alright. It's quite tasty. So Tabletronics, who I know maintains a couple of libraries, like the... are you the main maintainer of Wi-Fi Manager now? That is... yeah, he has mentioned that you can use ESP8266 and ESP32. So I don't like to limit my libraries to do that because I like to write them as generic as possible. And say, for example, Yasser mentioned a different type of board. Like if they have a Wi-Fi secure client that implements the client class, then I don't see why it wouldn't work with this without any changes from me. So that is why I do it that way. Okay, so let's... I am a copy and paste programmer, so let's do some copy and pasting. I'm just going to copy this whole Slack API into my .h. Brian Locke. There's so much stuff that I nearly need to write like a template or something to do this part of things for me. API, an Arduino library to wrap YouTube API for video stuff. Yeah. Okay, so the host will change in a second. So that. Okay, cool. Blood first. Yes, probably blood first. Okay, so let's look at our API documentation. So I think all of them used just used Google APIs, www.google APIs. So we will use the same for our host. I'll just call it YouTube video. Video host. We'll get the fingerprint later. Just comment it out for now. Timeout, we may as well put in this. Black pudding wouldn't be that firm. Like, it comes shaped like quite a large sausage, but like you cut it into slices when you're cooking it, so they'd almost be like the shape of like little burgers, and like they'd easily break apart. So they're not firm at all. Or at least I definitely wouldn't refer to them as firm. Okay, so let's do YouTube endpoint. What are the endpoints we need? We need a videos endpoint. So that's actually pretty close. YouTube videos endpoint. So let's see what we got here, which is just YouTube. What's a full English in Ireland? I would be pretty confident that you couldn't buy a full English anywhere in Ireland. We would refer to it as a full Irish. Yeah, so what would be in it? Probably sausages, eggs, rashers, pudding, probably mushroom, tomatoes, toast, maybe beans on the side, and maybe a hash brown. Are hash browns things that people steamed whole with vinegar? That sounds weird. What would be in a full English? Adam Bryant, you're probably not too far off, but oh yeah, the tomatoes are a fruit, right? To make it healthy. No, they'd be grilled tomatoes. So I think it just goes well. No, sorry. I said rashers, right? Rashers are bacon in I want to say in Irish. There'd be no potato farl. No. Hello, unexpected maker. Sure, we may as well add all the endpoints here while we're waiting. A potato farl is like a potato cake, isn't it? It would be like mashed potato mixed with flour fried. Am I thinking that right? We chose the red pill. For sure, we chose the red pill. Live. Which one? Do I have the search one? List. Oh, we haven't done the list one. Okay. Okay. Let's just save that there, and we'll grab it back later. I saw cake with beans, eggs, and bacon in it. So we would call a potato farl a spud cake here, and I would like them a lot, but it really or 3 is a 1M. I didn't get to catch a huge about the David's stream or streams, but like anytime I was in there, it was just people saying or 2 is whatever. I'm nearly thinking about like making I was nearly thinking about making a PCB that like literally all it says on it is "Hey David" or 2 is 10M or whatever it is. But that would be mean. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay, so this is the live stream one. Bitlooney is churning out the butterfacts. Yeah, that is actually something kind of weird when I watch like American like cooking shows or anything like that. Not that I watch cooking shows a huge amount. Butter is rarely used as a lubricant for PMP machines. Maybe that is the solution to unexpected makers' problems. That was not bullying. That was literally like that was as genuine as I could be. Like I just thought it was like adorable almost that like the sorry came in. Like most people would held up a sign or something, but just this No, David, I wasn't bullying you. I was as genuine as I could be in that moment, or as sincere as I could be. Bit loony is a safari is a farmer. I don't know where they got mixed up in my head. I'm flustered now after I've offended the great David Watts. Um, that's rank. Yeah, my daughter would eat yellow butter, as she calls it. Where is my search? That's not what I wanted. So you might go, yellow butter. Isn't all butter yellow? But peanut butter is not yellow, and she eats a lot of that. So that is the difference between yellow butter and regular butter. Yeah, yellow butter and peanut butter. Okay, so YouTube search endpoint, and then live chat messages endpoint. Live chat messages endpoint. Oh yeah, so I got a little bit off track about so if I'm watching American stuff, when they're like, oh, make sure you pick up grass-fed beef, and I'm like, what's not grass-fed beef? Like, I don't think that would be possible to buy in Ireland, is non-grass-fed beef. I've never had a coddle, Ray. Like, I'm not from Dublin. I hadn't even heard of it till quite recently. Yeah. So, okay, we'll have to create structs at some stage probably, but I don't know what they're going to be now. We'll need an API token, and we'll need to store our API token somewhere. API token. May as well keep the get HTTP status code, skip headers, and close client. That's all good stuff. We'll probably be making lots of get requests, so we'll change that to make get request. Command body, probably won't need to change content type or anything, so we'll just keep the command part. And we can probably get rid of everything else for now. Yes. I can't pronounce your name. I wouldn't even know where to start, but you're welcome for the Telegram API library. I'm still working on it. I've never had mutton stew. I've had lamb stew, but never mutton dressed as lamb. Like, how does it make it much different? It's just mutton is old sheep, right? We will be getting chickens for the garden. I have almost zero interest in it, but my wife would be a fan, and she wants to get them. So who am I to stop it? Yeah, look at this. I'm not a huge fan of eggs. Goat curry. Ugh. If you're using the search, I had to have a big buffer as the response was rather large. Okay, yeah, I will be using the search, so we'll see what comes back. Ugh. Hen's eggs in the morning. Yeah, that'll be the plan. As I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of it myself. This bloody name is too long. But okay, bloody spelled it with a capital AR in loads of places. It's not a bad idea. Just don't do it. Creating I think tracking colors using ESP32 is butter loony. Tracking colors using ESP32 is probably not the best idea. Maybe LoRaWAN modules. How about that? I saw a Great Scott's video on his greenhouse, and I'm kind of like, LoRaWAN might be pretty useful for that. Like, she wants a veg, she being my wife, would like a veg garden, and you know, like putting those soil moisture sensors in each bed might be pretty good. Unexpected Maker lived in the UK. He has to know what a full English is. Although maybe it's not really a London thing. Tracking colour of tomatoes, not a bad idea. In puff pastry. I've never seen that. We get that in rolls. Like bread rolls. We call it a breakfast roll. They're quite tasty. Make get request. We only need the command. I suppose I should probably like work towards actually doing something. Yes, because I'm sure Great Scott has like, oh sorry, you could do it with the tomatoes. I was like, why would Great Scott want anything to do with my veg garden? But yes, no, you should do that for sure. And you could display it on your giant LED wall. Okay, so let's work on this search one. Search one's the first thing we need to do. So okay, what do we need to pass in? I think this is probably as good a way of checking what we need to pass in. So that's fixed. Live. Part ID is also fixed. So channel ID needs to get passed in, and the key is also going to be like stays there. So the only input to this method is going to be the channel ID. Okay. So we're just going to do search for live videos, I guess. Or we could just do search for videos. Is there any reason why you'd want to see more videos? No, we'll keep it super generic. What is this going to return? Probably I guess we could get it to only return back the channel ID, right? Or what is it that we're looking for? We basically only want this video ID, the live ID. So we could get it to just return back. This search has 100. Ooh. Saucy. That is a lot. Brian Lock. Keep it Brian Lock. Okay. I do like grilled tomatoes though. Will we return back? Look, let's return back a chair for now. Is that how I even do this? I think it's this. Get live video ID. There, chair, there, channel ID. Okay, let's work towards that, please. Okay, so we have a chair, star, get live video ID. It's going to be the channel ID. I guess you could skip that step because you could like paste it in, but then you'd have to update this every time you'd have to update this every time you like stream, so that'd be a pain. So I think I'll stick with it for the moment. Let's just make the command be like 200. Let's go back to this guy. So he kind of builds a URL and we will steal what he's doing to do the same. I'll probably make it, what is it, a const char star, isn't it? Where is it? Yeah, const char. Yeah. What was the kind of a joke at one stage? Was it Catfax? You were subscribed to Catfax? Right, so this is the well, I suppose I could get rid of this and just make this the search. Search endpoint and params. Okay, so that would be this. I don't know if I really need to have it in a string literal, but sure. I guess it doesn't really do any harm to have it there, right? So YouTube search, and then we'd have our question marks, and then we would have our event type live and part ID. Oops. Big Mac is rock solid. Okay, and then we're going to have an and channel ID, and channel ID equals %s, and type equals video, and key equals %s. Right, cool. Search endpoint and params, let's go in here. So sprintf, we're going into command using our search endpoint and params. We're going to pass in a channel ID, and we are also going to pass in the API token. And that should give us that. It was on a tree. Oh, it's, yeah, the Mac thing. Are we finally getting away from are we getting ARM Macs now? Mac ARMs? So you had to do YouTube search part. You did part snippet, was it? I don't have that. I have part equals ID. Yeah, max results equals 1 is absolutely no harm to put in, so let's do that too. Max results equals 1. We have type video. I think everything else should be fine. Two-year transition period. I might just bump this up. I don't know how big everything is, but sure, there's no harm bumping it up. Buffer size, we'll play around with that. It's going to be a get request. Make get requests. It's going to take a param and nothing else. Okay, that will get us to there. Oops. Give me an example. Maybe I can just try it. Will it use the API Explorer to call this API? Okay. Where is the API Explorer? No, thought maybe it was just too zoomed out, maybe. I don't get this. Try it. Use the API Explorer. Bitloony quotes, "Hi, this is Bitloony, and today we're building an LED wall." Maybe it only works in Safari. Maybe it only works in Chrome. I am using Firefox. Let me check that. I don't know what's going to pop up if I open Chrome. I don't want to be like Bitloony. It's nothing interesting, to be honest. It must only work in Chrome because it popped up. I still need my access token though. It's funny as well. It's looking for authentication, like my bearer token, but why would it be looking for that? Oh, who cares? It's just... Oh, I'm still not sharing my screen. Sorry. Like, this is the response. The items thing is going to be quite big, probably. I don't need Chrome open. Yeah, you see, it should only give me the ID. I don't need the snippet. So I should hopefully only get this part of it back. So what is this? It's a search resource. Okay, so let's create a search resource, and I presume it's only going to return me back this much. Well, all I want is the video ID, so I'm not going to create I know what we'll do. We'll run the query in Postman, and I will get what I get back, and then we'll throw that into our generator thingy and see how we get on. Right, I need to get an API token, so talk amongst yourselves for a minute there. Where do I even get this? Tell me up here somewhere where to get it. Quota, 100 units, that's so many. Where is it? Part. Mine optional. I don't know. Okay. Google API key. Developer.google.com. Go to console, I suppose. I probably have, like, my existing YouTube API thing probably will work fine. Yeah, I've got a YouTube API test. Credentials, maybe. overview API doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. Doesn't seem to be working too well in Firefox. Just really don't want you using anything on Chrome, do they? No, that's not it. I'm on Google Maps for some reason. Why? I don't want to be on Google Maps. Okay, now we're talking. I guess it's credentials. Yes, I have an API key. Okay, API key copied. Right, so let's go to this dude's example here. I'm just gonna save that API key somewhere for safekeeping. Right, so let's go to Postman. Let's create a new one. Just YouTube test. Create a new folder. YouTube. I'll be back to you in a second. Okay. So what we got here? Okay, we got Postman. Right, so we're making a big GET request. May as well use my lovely thing here. Let's grab this one first. APIs.com. Presumably it will put in the HTTPS for me. Suppose I should see what you're saying. How do you cut your fringe so straight? I did this myself, I think. When was the example made? Which example? Colin? Oh, that other one? That was probably ages ago. Which is probably a good reason to sort it out. Oh, this was nice that it showed up here. Okay, so channel ID. So let's find my channel ID. Ryan Lock YouTube. Who are these? Oh, I didn't type in. I was like, how am I not the first one? Okay, so this is my channel ID. Yes, I could just skip and get the video ID, but where's the fun in that? Back to Postman. Right, so that's my channel ID. Right, so the last thing I need to do then is replace out my key, which I will just take off screen. The example column was written in January of last year, so 18 months ago. So a while ago. That's okay. That is okay. I'm gonna send that request. I did need to specify that it was HTTPS. Google gave out to me. Okay, so let's go to Arduino JSON assistant. And it does match. Alright, so this is what I got back. And this is what we're looking for. And that does match my the stream video that I see anyways, or the video ID that I see. See you, Looney. Take it easy. Who would have thought that Brian YouTube didn't reveal me first? Get it together, Google. G code for haircuts. TikTok version of this video. What would be a TikTok version of this video? That thing that I don't know, did anybody see on my Twitter? Like, I recorded a video update for like GitHub sponsors, and so I recorded it on my phone, and I have Google Photos to back up anything on my phone, and Google made like clip show where they put like clips of that video on top of music, and it was really weird. It was bad. It was like the screen, just the screen. It's like, it was 20 seconds long, and I said screen about 50 times on it. Okay, so this is fine. And all we want to get out of it is this video ID, which he calls items 0, which is also fine. Although I'm probably not going to call it items 0, I'm just going to refer to it. So blah 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 blah. If debug, what's going on here? If not if debug, serialize JSON into a doc. What? I'm printing the JSON object. If not okay, what is going on here? Oh, I think it just returns back okay if it worked in that other example. Yeah, okay. Blah, 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 blah. Where am I going? If... all right. So if not let's get rid of this. I think I can just put this here. So if not don't need any of this stuff. I can just do this. Should just be able to do this. Don't need that to be as weird looking as that. I can just return. Yep, that auto generates. If you take the output of JSON and put it into that JSON assistant thing, Arduino JSON assistant, it auto generates like what is the site? It's just arduinojson.org. So if you just search for Arduino JSON assistant, it gives you this site. So you dump in your output there, tells you how big to make it. We can probably use this quite literally too, which is not bad. So you'll see here that they have capacity, blah 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 blah, and yeah, we can probably use that quite literally too, because I don't see this changing at all. Like, if you have strings that grow in it, you do need to change it, but that's not going to change size. So yeah, it's quite nice. Recommend it if you are doing Arduino JSON work, for sure. See, get from Arduino JSON v6 assistant. Right, so that's our buffer size. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to close the client and like say we'll return null there. If it didn't work out any other way. Oh yeah, it auto-generated, Michael. I didn't ask it to do anything. It just kind of pops up. Like sometimes it's nice, like it makes like kind of clips of like pictures you've taken and things, and it's, you know, nice, but it just didn't seem to do a very good job this time around. Okay, let's test this out. So let's dump this. We need to keep skip headers. We just need to update it to be Arduino YouTube video. I guess we can get rid of this. I don't need it. I don't really need this either. Whatever that's doing. Okay, I suppose I could write an example. No, I'm not even going to bother write the example. I'm just going to make a new sketch. Will I write an example? I'll write the example. New folder, examples, folder, get live stream messages. So I'm just going to do one example at the moment. Get live stream messages .ino. Hopefully I've spelled them the same. As you all know at this stage, I am a copy and paste programmer. So I'm just going to copy and paste from another example. Excuse me, I will update the text on these some other time. Yeah, so that's some other time. This would be the YouTube API token. What does this take? A client and an API token. It's pretty similar to this. YouTube video. Client YouTube API token. I don't really care about it being delay between requests, but maybe that will come in handy later, so I'll leave it there. Set fingerprint, I'm just going to leave for the moment, and I'm going to change to client. Oops. Dot set insecure. What's this called? It's YouTube video. Display profile, don't care. But what I probably will do is serial dot, no, I won't do serial print char star. What's this video ID? Can you define keywords and make messages that contain them stand or from others? I don't understand what you mean, Sven. Would you mind explaining that better? Or differently? I'm just not following yet. YouTube video dash get live video ID. Need a channel ID, might as well define that up to start somewhere too. Dash define channel ID. It's so bright. Let's grab this. Hello, Bali. How's it going? welcome to the party. Okay, so I'll pass in channel ID, and with any luck, we should get a video ID back. If video ID is not equal to no, serial print channel is live now with video ID. Serial prints.ln. Channel does not appear to be live. Okay, we can get rid of the loop. Okay, so my Arduino IDE. Let's bring this over here. It's so bright. We're going to sketch, include library, add zip to library, some documents, code, Arduino, YouTube video API. Alright, should we go to examples? Should be here. Right, let's make sure it compiles first. It probably won't. Doesn't. Oh, yes, I have an ESP32 board selected. Let's go to D1 Mini. It's probably not the biggest of my problems. Okay, return video ID. I'm returning a const char rather than a char star. Okay, not a huge problem. I think I do cast them though, don't I? Wrong thing. So custom status. Do I do any casting here? Yes, I do. I also do as string normally there, or as char. I don't know. Sven, we'll have to find that out. I don't think so. I think we'll only get to see messages as they come in, and we'll have to dump them if they don't match what we want. I think, like, to be honest, this could be useless. We'll find out. Let's build it first. Then we'll decide if it's useless. Okay, so that should fix that. Let's open up a new terminal. You probably can't see the terminal part of it. Just gonna copy and paste from there. Arduino, YouTube. Did I not put it in there? Arduino? No, there we go. Source. Okay. I suppose while we're waiting for that to compile, This is the resource. We probably won't get to see that. Get live chat ID part. So snippet gives us the type, published, display, message, fan funding events. This is quite chunky. Text message details. Like maybe we won't need the snippet. Author details. You see, this is interesting. We could, is chat moderator, is sponsor, like is in, we could possibly dump stuff that is, not, as in we could check, is it a moderator, and go, okay, we're not going to do it based on that. Lists lives chats from a specific. Ooh, I could even add. I'm pretty sure I'd need to be authenticated for that now. But it's chunky. See, maybe if you don't have that snippet, you might get away with, like, that snippet adds a huge amount of stuff. Yeah, it looks like you need the snippet though. That will contain the message by the looks of things. See, you can see here super chat event, so maybe or sticker. So yeah, new sponsored event. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I suppose one of the problems that I could see coming out of this is basically, like, I need to limit it pretty significantly. Max results. Okay, so I can set the max results. Localized currencies, it's optional, don't really care. Like, surely it returns the most recent first. Hello Aaron, how's it going? Long time no chat. It worked that time. It has to return the most recent first, right? It doesn't actually say, I don't think. When you first make the request to retrieve, the API returns some or all of the chat history depending on the length of that history. Messages in the response are ordered from oldest to newest. Like, surely if you say, I only want 100 of them, it will give you the most recent 100 of them. That would be nuts if it wasn't that. Okay, let's see, did this compile? It didn't. Ooh, I've bearer to. Oh, sure, I haven't. Good on me, I haven't done anything with this body stuff. So it is a get. Host is not Slack host. Slack host does not exist. It's YouTube video host. Host. YouTube timeout. Yeah, exactly. It couldn't be the first 10 messages. That'd be nuts. I'm surprised they come back in that order for something like chat. Maybe, like with Telegram, it also comes back in the oldest first. But with Telegram, it lets you say, I've read this message. I don't want it anymore. Like, it's fine for me if it comes back oldest first, but there's a way of specifying I've already read this message. Because I don't want to see that, like, the same messages come up over and over again, because that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Okay, content type. I don't really need any of those content types. I'll leave the cache type. I'll accept application JSON. I don't need that. I don't need anything to do with a body. I think that should be it. Let's copy and paste that up there. Let us verify. Yeah, there is a page token. The next page token property. I just can't see it being possible. Polling interval at minutes. The amount of time the client should wait before polling again for new live chat messages. That might be useful to us. Yeah, the problem is that you can't, like, if there's a, like, say overall there's 1,000 messages, then like we won't be able to parse 1,000 messages. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Sure, the live stream, where's this bearer token? 2411. Sure, this part of it is somewhat useful anyways. Oh, yes. Excuse me. Underscore. Okay, okay. The search one is 100. The check to get the live stream chat ID is 2. Okay, so that's done compiling. So I'm gonna take this off my screen to just put in my API token and stuff and see, does that work? I don't know how much the one to get the chat is. Maybe that's not anything if you just abide by their how long you should wait. Crack. Alright, so my API key is this. Nonsense. My channel ID I already have in there. Uploading to my board now. It should upload anyways. Whether it works or not is a different question. You get 1 million a day, so quite a lot. Well, I suppose depends on what you're doing, but okay, so it's done uploading. So it says my channel is live now with video ID that, which is correct. Okay, so we have a thing that can tell you if somebody's live or not. Now, you can only do that. That takes 100 up. And if you have 1 million, you can only do that 10,000 times in a day. So if you divide that by 24, 400 times an hour, that'd be 67 times a minute. That's a lot. So you could check every half a minute comfortably, and you'd be fairly on time. I thought it was 1,000,000. I could be wrong. Thought it was 1,000,000. Where did I see that? Was it in overview? I saw it somewhere. Calling the API, maybe. Hey James, how's it going? Where was it? I was fully sure I saw it as 1,000,000. This quota costs 100 units. Oh, sorry. It says if you have a daily quota of 1,000,000 units. It doesn't say what my daily quota is. It says if I have 1,000,000. So I'd have to look what's in my quota tabs. Okay, so the default is 10,000 per day. That's a lot. Less. So, yeah. Right, so 10,000 divided by 100. So you can only do that 100 times a day. So if you divide that by 24, that's only 4 times an hour. So once every like 15 minutes. But I guess like maybe you're not going to check while you're asleep, so maybe you can do it every 10 minutes. It's not great though. Yeah, not great. Maybe there's a better way of doing that part of it, but sure, we'll see. But you can request additional limits in your quotas tab. Do you have to buy them? Where is it? Quotas tab. Copy link location. Yeah, it says request more quotas. Like you can just go to a quotas page. My current usage is 202. I've made 2 search requests, I suppose. You can edit your quotas. I don't know. Look, it's fine. I'm sure it probably is chargeable. That's disappointing though. Like I'm only doing a little search. Maybe there's a better way of doing that. Who knows? Yeah, like I don't want to pay anything for this, right? I think once it's paid, it's a disaster. Okay, so we have our video back. So now we need to get the chat ID back. So let's go back to this guy again. And we'll do the same thing as before. Okay, so we are going to make a char star get live chat ID This is going to presumably just take a video ID. Okay, so let's just throw that down here for the minute. Yeah, there has to be a sneakier way around this. Hey, Little Darker, how's it going? Yeah, like the Google Maps API, like I did some Arduino work around it and it was fine, but it what was it? Yeah, when I started the project, it was completely free to like sign up with a quota or whatever. But by the time I like wrote up the project in places, you had a free limit, but you also had to provide a credit card, which was a bit of a disaster. You found examples of how to do it without that. Yeah. Like there has to be ways of checking is somebody live without having to do that search. It seems crazy. Like as in, hey YouTube, I am looking to allow people to watch more YouTube. You know, throw me a bone here. Like it's not really a search that we're doing. It's something different. Like, but I don't know. Live streaming details. This part. So ID is the live ID. Get rid of the video. Keep the key and get rid of the max results. And this is the video endpoint. Video live stream details endpoint. I'll do me. Right, so let's go in here. Close that down. I don't think I'll need it too much. We are changing this to be get live chat ID. Live chat ID, we're taking a video ID here. Video ID, we're taking this live stream endpoint. I'll get rid of this while I think about it. That should give me the majority of what I want. I guess I'm gonna go back to Postman again and see what comes back. Same as we did before. So let me just get rid of my key so I can show you what I'm doing. Or I'll just create a new one. Get live chat ID. Save to YouTube. Alright. So we're doing the same as before. Where's my Postman gone? HTTP ls www.google apis.com/YouTube. I have 2 question marks. Not the best. Live streaming details. So ID is this video ID that we got, which is currently up the top of your browsers. And then key is my API key, which I need to take off screen. And put that in, make a send. No filter selected. Expected one of chart ID my rating. Okay, so they're missing something from their request, which is good to know. What do you mean, Samuel? Video list. So what did they say I'm missing? Oh, a chart ID or my rating. I do have an ID. Maybe it's spelled wrong. Or is... Okay, no, I did have it wrong. Okay. Okay, so we got some stuff back here. It's pretty straightforward again. We just want this active live chat ID. Ooh, you can display concurrent viewers. That's somewhat useful, right? So maybe we'll return back more than just the chat ID. We'll return back the concurrent viewers. Like that's, I could definitely see that being interesting to people. Okay, so let's go back to copy and paste programming. I just want to get a struct. Oops, I opened that. I should have done this. Right. Is it part of the class? No, outside of the class. Right, so I'm just going to call this live stream details. Live stream details. It comes back as a string, the concurrent viewers. Not in what I requested anyways, Colin. I don't see that. Concurrent viewers comes back as a string. Seems weird, but anyways. Do I change it to an int? Do I leave it as a string? I'll just leave it as a string for the moment. Concurrent viewers. And we also have active live chat ID. You can see an actual start time and a scheduled start time. I don't see a huge advantage in that. Shows that I started 22 seconds early. Maybe that's useful. I don't think so. Let's do this. Alright, so now instead of a chair, it is returning back live stream details. So live stream details. Let's go to details. And we'll say details details.r equals true. And then if we actually get where we want to go, details.r equals false. I don't know. All I can see is 49. So I don't know if it gets concatenated. See, the other thing that you have as well, that I guess if you've enough, you have problems, right? So for example, like in the YouTube like subscriber counter API, like using a long or whatever for people's subscriber count is pretty fine, but like view count for somebody like Mr. Beast is like I can't represent that as a number big enough in Arduino. Like you'd have to just use that as a string. But I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it as a string for now because whatever. We can decide what we want to do with it later. Okay, so I posted this stuff in here. Don't see this changing a huge amount either, so I'm happy enough to just use their thing again for calculating the buffer size. And I'm going to deserialize JSON. So I only really want the live stream details stuff. I don't need all that stuff. Oops. How are we doing for time? Not too bad. There's a mine parameter in v33 list. What's that? Video list. Where do you see that, Samuel? The mine parameter in v33 list. Christian, do you have that? Who is that that's streaming? Maybe we'll use them as a test case. $7.1K, that's a lot of people. I don't really follow many YouTubers that. It's funny how it hid that. So this is the video of who's streaming, is it? Samuel, I didn't see that link that you sent. YouTube. I've gone to a channel dashboard. That's not really what I wanted to do. It's good to know it. Oh, this is probably gonna come out with my speakers, or I'd like to remind me I'm live. Oh, so this was a channel. Oh, Newsline. Mr. Bolton. Okay, so let's take. Well, I'll hold on to that. Thanks for the link. So it's ABC News. Oh, live broadcasts. What document is this? V3 Live Docs live broadcasts. That seems pretty useful. Live broadcasts list. Oh, so it needs to be authenticated as me. YouTube read only. Yeah, this seems to be a bit better. Live streaming API. The only problem is it needs to be authenticated. Not the end of the world. But again, it has that problem that I was talking about, is that, like, I can't I won't make requests from my own Google account, but I guess like there is a mine boolean, but there's also an ID. So like I could. Now it's a comma separated list of YouTuber broadcasts that are live. So you could make a dumb Google account. Will we see what happens if I make a request to this? I wonder how much. It doesn't say how much it takes off your doesn't say how much it takes off your quota. You can restrict API keys, but I think this authenticates using OAuth as well, though, right? Which would require some stuff. Requires authorization with at least one of the following scopes. Look, let's try it in Postman and find out. Live broadcast lists. It is a request to this. The parameters needs a part. Do they have an example one? They don't. Part names that you can include are okay. I can bring this part over. Is it part? Let's just put in ID and snippet. Specify exactly one of the following parameters. Okay, so put in ID. Of YouTube broadcast IDs. So a live broadcast resource. Where do you get your live broadcast resource? Yeah, I'll have to look into this. Because I don't know. It seems to me like this would work. But it just, I don't know. It doesn't seem right. This is the live broadcast resource. So that's what I got back the last time, right? So and it gives me an ID. Kind YouTube live broadcast ID. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So you do a list, and one of the things it's looking for is an ID, which seems to be not the YouTuber's ID. It seems to be yeah, I don't know. I suppose look, I can just try it out and see what happens. Just use my own ID. APIs don't change a huge amount, a little darker. Yeah, they don't change a huge amount. Like normally you'd expect them to stick around a while. It's not to say they won't stick around forever, but integrating Google sign-in. What were the other options I had? So I got a thing saying that I was unauthenticated and I needed request is missing required authentication credentials, expected O2 access token, login cookie, or other valid authentication credential. So yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look like it's going to be a runner for Arduino stuff. Or at least for me and Arduino stuff. But thank you for the suggestion. It looks like it does need OAuth, unfortunately. Ideally, it would just use auth tokens or something, but unfortunately not. Okay, so let's grab that stuff. Let's go to this stuff. Let's keep that there for a second. Live streaming details. To this for a second. Yeah. And then I need to do this. Hold on, wait 1 second, I've changed this up a bit. I don't care about actual start time, current viewers. Details dot concurrent viewers. Details dot active live chat. What have you missed? We got step 1 of our 3-step plan working. Return. I guess I don't need to do a return here. Just return back details here. Hopefully this is about to give us step 2 of it. Oops. No G peeps. Hey, even marathons start with the first step. Or steeps. M peeps. Okay, so if details that is true to something or false. Getting live stream details. Let me just put in a. I was gonna say I'll put in a delay there. I'm sure why. Current viewers. Details that current viewers may as well put in the other thing, whatever it is, active live chat ID. Chat ID. Right, so let's grab the bottom half of that. Update my sketch. Okay, let's click upload and see how we get on. Doesn't like my live stream details, probably because I haven't copied that in here yet. Get live chat ID was not declared in scope. That's because I'm not referencing it as a parameter. Might as well fix that while I'm here. Current views was not declared in scope. I have something wrong in here. Get live chat ID. Get live. Ooh, what's going on here? Incorrect return type. Okay, we're updating something. It's done uploading. Wi-Fi connected, channel is live. Getting live stream details. I wonder if I'm just doing it too fast. Let's put in a little delay of. Let's put in a delay of a second. And while I look to see what mistakes I might have. Command, video live stream details, video ID, API token. Yeah, seems alright. Channel is live. Still error getting details. Okay, so I'm gonna put on a debug. I need to take the serial monitor away from me because it will print my token out. So we should see this, which is just a command. It's better than nothing. Video part live stream details ID is wrong. See here, capital I should be lowercase I. I can turn that back to false or. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, done uploading. Hey. Okay. We are sucking diesel. So that is step 2 of our 3-step process to get chat messages coming back. So this chat ID is what we need. But what we've also built is a concurrent viewers counter. So let's try with ABC News. Are they still live? They're still live. There's only 5,000 watching now, as opposed to how many there was before, but that's okay. I'll give it a go. That is a long variable name. Working for Apple. Yeah. Do like my long variable names. Okay, so be interested to see how this comes back now. Okay, so it comes back as a number. I presume they've chat disabled. Yeah, so they've no live chat. Yeah, chat is disabled, so that's where the chat ID being blank is coming from. Still comes back as a number though. Sky News have slightly more watching right now, but it's okay. Okay, cool. So let's put back in my one and get my ID again, because we'll be going back to Postman. While I'm waiting, I can start making this. Get chat messages. Right. So let's go back to this dude. He's mainly not fed us too far around. Definitely not using his max results thing though. So let's do it here. So const char star. What is this? I suppose I'll put it down here. Okay, so let's just get live stream messages. Okay, so that's percentage s ampersand. I'm gonna make this part thing be optional as well. Part percentage s. Like maybe even if I hard code it for now, but definitely make max results be parameterized. Keep doing that. Yeah. Percentage d, then ASCII at the end. And this is live chat messages. Okay. Live chat messages endpoint. If not string, chat disabled for this stream. Yeah. Yeah. It's possible. I guess, sure, look, if it doesn't come back as a number, probably understand what has happened. But normally what we try to do on these streams is, yeah, I don't know why it's a string, but yeah. Normally what we try to do on these streams is as happy path as possible, and we'll worry about other stuff later. This is definitely going to have to come back as a what? Struct videos list. Where did it? Live. Here we go. So let's grab this. Throw it into Postman. Go back to this. Happy Chappy. Grab him. Back to Postman. Right, so live chat ID should be in my serial monitor, which is here. So that's quite long, which is fine. Part. For part, they had ID, snippet, author details. We'll keep that for the minute. Max results. I only want 10, I think. For now, anyways. Maybe. Yeah, Mixer is shutting down. I'd say Ninja and Shroud have done very well for themselves out of that, as long as they had a good contract going into it. Yeah, hopefully for them. Not just that I care whether Shroud or Ninja or Microsoft get that money. Doesn't really bother me a huge amount who has it. The live chat that you're trying to retrieve cannot be found. Live chat messages. Live chat ID turned in the live broadcast. Or maybe I have. Aha, I had a mistake in it. Okay, so I only requested 10. They're not the 10 most recent ones. They are not the 10 most recent ones. This is a disaster. Why, YouTube, would you do this? Do I zoom out a bit, maybe? Right, so this is the most recent message I have. Colin Hickey. With mine, I could search only every 114. No, it's ages ago. Like, we've had at least 50 messages since then. It's like, what if I change it to 100? No, you get the same 10. So I bumped it up to 100 this time, which is even difficult for Postman to deal with, to be honest, with the amount of scrolling I need to do. But the most recent message when I look for 100 is Gavin saying, If you ask for another 10, do you get the next 10 or the same 10? So, oh wait, there's page info. Let's see what that's about. Total results 7. Okay. But I can only go to the next page token. Ugh. Right, so up the top here, you can see total results 73, results per page 10. So I can see that I have 63 newer messages than this. But in order to get to them, I would need to go next page token, next page token, next page token, which seems crazy to me. There has to be a way of now what if I only request IDs to get to the correct place? That makes it much smaller. I don't know anything about it other than that. Do I even need to ask for a part? Part is required. Like at that stage, like, why is it only showing 73? Is this saying it here? Chronological. It doesn't look like I can grab them by message number. Can you just grad? What's grad? Grab. It seems pretty huge. You see, the other problem I have though is, so like if I request 10, it's giving me the last 73, but I don't know why. Like, why is it only giving me 73? Why not 100 or 1,000? Hello, Kenton. The minimum is 200. That could be true. If we ask for a list, max results. Yeah, okay, so acceptable are 200 to 2,000. Okay, so whether, but it's funny, it lets you look for 10 and will only return 10. If I ask for 200, it still is only giving me 73. So there's something that, like that it only goes back 73. Like it doesn't make sense to me that it only goes back 73. ID. Snippet. It's weird as well. So I have to request the snippet to see what was sent. And I can see the author's channel ID, but I don't see like anything, information about them. There's 103 in my chat at the moment, counting the HTML children. Right, so this is what I see on my... Oh, you've seen my key now. Let me just revert my key. I have to do that on Chrome. Nobody steal my key in the next couple of seconds. I'd be really annoyed. How dare you check my... or check YouTube API stuff unauthenticated. I don't know how to do this. Come on. Billing API AIM. Where is API? Okay, credentials. API key. Generate me a new one, please. Okay, grand. So now I can show you without worry anyways. So this is me requesting 200 of them. And I got 73 back. So if I go down and look at the most recent one, so now, like, it is a while since I made this request. It looks like the minimum was 200. So you get 103 when you do this request trend. That's weird. You can do secret values in Postman. How do you do that? I should learn about that. Secret values, that sounds fancy. It's kind of like an environment variable, is it? Ah, that seems like that would be useful. Like there has to be hundreds, right? Like the oldest one that I had here is somebody saying hi at James and hey James. And if I scroll up, that was Gerald42 said hi at James. That's not even like a quarter of the way up the chat. And there's older ones than even I see when I scroll up to the top. Like, that's not the start of when chat started. I don't think it's gonna happen for us, guys. Like, it just doesn't seem... What are cue points? An ad break. Oh, perfect. Let me check. Add a new variable key. Look at these session variables. How do I use them? Do I just put them in? That was about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Few more actions. Syst. Bit loony filter. It isn't helpful, that's for sure. Okay, let me just try this. Postman environment variables. Using variables. Add a variable, quick save. Yeah. Looks like you were right. See, does it work now? Doesn't like my API key. Oh. Okay, now it works. Still 73. Why is it 73? That does not make sense to me. Let's put in author details too. Thank you for the suggestion about environment variables. My API key has expired. Please renew my API key. That's weird that it has expired, seeing as I only just got it. Active until the 23rd of June. That was the previous key. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That seems fine, I don't know. Okay, it worked that time. So, yeah, I still have like I still get 73 messages. So this is David Watts's message from earlier. Come on, scroll down. Why aren't you scrolling down? So here is Gavin Smalley. Does it maybe not include messages which are moderated or had to be accepted? Like, I've had way more than 73 messages in the stream to date. Like, as in way more. clear all these. So the problem is unexpected maker that this is the request to get the live chats, and so I'm requesting a max of 200 results, or even say I change this to 10 results. Max results 10. It's only given me back the 73 most recent chats, right? I kind of expected when I said I want 10 max results that it would give me back the most recent 10 chat results, but it doesn't do that. And it looks to me that if I wanted to get the most recent chat by only requesting 10 at a time, and 10 is quite a chunky piece of like JSON per one, like that's pretty chunky for each one, like seeing as there's 73 of them. I would have to go to next page token, next page token, next page token. And that seems kind of crazy to me. I can't just go to the end. That didn't even work. Must be something else that you request for that. I don't know what you mean by locally. Like, I don't understand where the 73 is coming from. Like, what sort of a number is that to pick? Like, I could understand if it was like 100 or something. And so it's page token. I need to click that next page token. Oh, so now I only have 64 left. Does that mark these ones as red? There's only 55 left now. I don't think I can. I think I can only say author details. I don't think I can specify, like, I really only want the person's name. Like, I don't need anything else. I just want display name. And maybe, you know, this stuff are the chat sponsors and stuff. Oh yeah, I get you. Yeah. My API key has not expired. Just stop. So I'm digging into it here. I'm down to 37. It used to be 73, wasn't it? I don't know, Samuel. I'd be happy to be proven wrong. Like, anything that makes it more possible to use it, I'd be up for. Yeah, I can't scroll back to the beginning either. But I can scroll back further than this. So I'm down to the most recent 9 now. So what happens if I... Like maybe if you just keep on top of the page tokens, it marks everything up to that point red. Right, so I only got one message back there. Is it a time limit thing? Like comments last only 10 minutes. So I literally didn't see that message before I saw this message. So like it's given me only one message back. I wish there was like a latest page token I could use. So that gave me, if you refresh the stream page, you'll lose the older comments and only 73 of the most recent. See you, Gerald. Thanks for joining. It's funny actually seeing the messages pop up in Postman before I see them. So it seems to be like that's marked everything as red up to this point. So I guess if I do this now, I'm going to see Gerald's, Samuel's, and Samuel's. So I got 3, yeah. Gerald, Samuel's, and Samuel's. So if I look at my next page token again, I got 1. I'm out for now. Enjoy programming. See you, Michael. You, David. Shut up, says. Nobody type anything for a second. And I know I've signed my own debt warrant by saying that. Okay, so I got a blank one. So if you keep on top of them, you're actually okay. So David has just said lol. Oh, I got 2. Oh, that literally showed up in Postman before it showed up. That showed up in Postman for me, Chris's message, before it showed up in the thing. Oh, that's handy. Right, I can select this set. Okay, so I could put it in as a token. That would be quite useful, wouldn't it? Edit. Page token. Initial value, who cares? Done. Is that YouTube page token? Maybe I set it as this, is it? My page token is not valid. My current is next page token. Let's just not send it for the minute. So I'm back to 74 here though. So without a valid page token, it shows you a huge amount of them. Yeah, I don't get what the end of the history is. It doesn't seem to update though. It's not programmatic. I would have thought I could like set that and it keeps grabbing it, but it doesn't seem to. It's not much better than just setting it. Yeah, it's a pity. Maybe you can. Response, maybe? That's a pity. That's a pity. Like, it's pretty quiet in this chat. Like, there's only 26 people on now. So, like, I feel like you could get on top of messages using the page token. Like, if I requested just ID, got rid of page token, and say I asked for 100 of them back. Alright, that's got me to here. Now, does somebody want to type something new? What was this before? Snippet. And author details or something. Something new. Okay. So if my plan worked out here, I should see Smith new, lol, something new, and something new as the like updated ones. And I do. Okay. So okay. Thanks for looking into it, Dren, but I'm not. I won't worry about that now. I'll have to think about it. So I can get up to the point where I've thrown away messages, but I suppose, like, if you think about it logically, if you are looking at 10 messages at a time, you can handle 10 messages. You can just basically look at 10 messages, deal with them, then ask for the next 10 messages using your page token, deal with them, ask for the next 10 messages, deal with them, ask for the next 10 messages, deal with them. Maybe you'll catch up, maybe you won't. What can you do? Hey, Defram, how's it going? We're a little bit defeated. Kind of. We're kind of a little bit defeated. Right, so let's make a struct, which is a chat message. We've gotten some of the way. We have made it so that you would be able to build a live stream concurrent viewers display. Maybe that would be useful to some people. It does show it up in YouTube Studio, so I don't know how useful it is. Let's see, we need a chair. Is there message text? Or display message, I suppose. Display message. I don't really care about anything else other than author detail, maybe. Chair, star, display name. Let's take if they're a mod as well. Is mod. better do is there, and let's do a new struct, which is chat responses, I suppose. Chat responses. Which will be chat message messages. Let's put in 10. I don't think we need really anything else back, do we? I think we'll probably save it as a public char. Next page, what was it called? The token? Next page token? Yeah, the only problem with that, Chris, is you might miss what you're looking for. I don't know if there is a quota for these. Like, it says how often you can check, so you could just check that often. But I don't know. So maybe I need to take that to polling interval in millis. Page info is probably useful too. But let's just get the page token first, I suppose. Next page token. Oh yeah, I think it's here. Next page token. Let's just make it 50. Maybe care. I suppose I'll put in the total results. I guess results per page shows us how many. Okay, I'll take both of them. So this would be an int total results. Int results per page. They revoked your API access. Scumbags. Okay, so if we were turning back chat responses, why is that? Oops. Okay, chat responses. Oh, I need to get the polling interval in millis as well. Inside long. Why not? Polling interval millis. See you, Johnny. I'm sure you're long gone at this stage, but thank you for joining. Chat responses, get chat messages. Takes an active live chat ID. And I suppose it can also take snippet author details. So what's this part? Char star part, but we'll default it to this. That gets us some of the way. Let's just grab this crack. duplicate it. Get chat messages. Live chat ID. Part. So we have this thing which takes a live chat ID, part, and the max results and a key. So it's 4 inputs. So let's take in live chat ID, the part. May as well define this. Hash define YouTube max results. Let's make it 10. Should be able to do this, I think. Part YouTube max results, API token. I also used to use strings for everything, DefPam, because it's easier if you're used to any other style of development. They're nice and cozy. It actually hasn't been too bad moving over to chars. Yeah, I don't know if I have any huge bit of advice. Sprintf is your friend. I think is the biggest bit of advice I have, but other than that, I don't really know. Let's do responses. Responses that are like, see, this is a problem now where we have. So let's send this. Yes, there's been enough messages. I'm gonna take this raw JSON. I'm gonna bring it over to Arduino JSON Assistant. It's gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like maybe 10 is too much. That's 12,000. Maybe I'll just drop it down to 5. Yeah, I'll drop it down to 5. I'm just gonna make this be 10,000. Save major request. Right, so we need to get the polling intervals. I don't know if we need that exactly, but we'll take it. Sugar, what did I do here? Why was I up that high? Okay, so responses that are is equal to true, that's fine. Then I have responses that are is equal to false, is fine. Let's just change this to long for the minute. I don't really follow the star S and ats. It is about pointers. I don't fully understand it either, and just kind of have learned what to do. I'm probably not always right. Is it long? I presume I can do that. Okay, so that's one part of it. I need to save it as my next page token. Copy star into buffer. String copy. Okay. Where's my Arduino assistant? I need my next page token. Let's grab that stuff. Which copies which were? Copies 80 from 1 into 2. Okay. So next page token. It's a string length, isn't it? String length C. So no, it's not. Char star length C++. Yeah, there's a string len. Or do I care? Sure, I know what length it's going to be. How long is it? 24. I don't know. Let's just make it 25. String len. Sure. Okay, I'll give that a go. Like this? Or just without the... String copy to from... I need to change that. Page token. To from. Okay, let's just go so. Okay, let's put in this. Let's go back to our assistant. Their assistant is dumb. Their assistant is very dumb. It's too many. Okay, so that's items. So I need to do a for loop through the items now. Documentation. Deserializing, parse adjacent document. Deserializing an array, parsing the array. Yeah, I want to step through. Okay, so I can do r.size. Okay, can use that. str copy. Oh yes, I need to get rid of that one. str copy. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I have my JSON array. So now I do int I is equal to 0. I is less than items.size I plus plus. Right, that gives us that. Go back to our assistant. Just gonna copy all of this stuff. Oh, that's horrible. Right, what do I want from this? Let's split the split right, please. This big. And so I just want display message and display name. Right, so I don't want kind e tag, blah blah blah, don't want any of that. I don't need to set it as a JSON object. I just want has display content. Just want display message. So it would be item I snippet display message. Guess I don't need any of the rest of this now. I also don't need all of that. So it would be in my responses responses dot messages I dot display message. See that chair star crack here. I need that as chair. Alright, so that gets us that much. Now I just need kind of the same, but for author details. Just gonna copy and paste this. So it's almost the same. I'm going to display name. It's item I. Except it's going to be author details after snippet, or instead of snippet. Then I'll have display name. Let's do one more then for isMod. this mod. Okay, get rid of all of this crap. Suppose I need an end of my for loop. That would be useful. Seems to be struggling here. Okay. Then I'll return responses. Right, that's something. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but okay, so store this up here. Live stream details. If details dash active live. Is it? I find it's laggy if you're really zoomed in, Samuel. Is I don't know. I don't know, it's not equal to blank. I don't know if I can do that, but I'll do it anyways. If active live chat ID is not equal to blank, get chat messages. Oops. Yeah. I didn't even know you could do 4-layer boards, but very easy idea. I haven't ventured that far yet. So if responses dash error is not true, okay, for int I is equal to 0 colon responses dash results per page. I is less than results per page. Is less than results per page. I plus plus. Should probably be set in that millis time. I can do that after, I suppose. If millis is less than, what's that called? Request due time. Request due time is equal to millis plus responses dash polling time interval. seconds just to give it a break, maybe. And then serial.print as an error. Right, so what I'm doing here is I'm getting the responses back. I'm checking if there's an error. If there's not an error, I'm stepping through, I'm doing a for loop for the amount of results that came back. I'm going to step through the messages then. Just print the message. Serial.print. Maybe I'll just do that as a something here. Void print message, which takes a chat message. Serial.print. Just put in their name. Message dash display name. Serial dash print. Serial dash print. If message dot is mod. Print bloom message dash display message. Print message responses dot messages There is 0 chance of this working, but anyways. Almost 0 chance of this working. Fingers crossed. Oh, it died very early on. Seem to have error in my CPP. Let's just get rid of this side. Where do the error messages start? Item is not declared in scope. Oh. Should be items. What else? What other error messages do you have for me? Actually rolled that time. Did something. I presume it is currently dying on its ass, but the code doesn't do anything when it is. There is an error. If millis is less than, that would be a problem. Should be if millis is greater than. Again, and some issues where here it's done uploading anyways. Whether it worked or not now is another question. At least I guess there was an error. Alright, let's put on my super debugging powers. I need to take back the serial monitor though. Oh, I'm getting back the page token thing, but I don't actually set that anywhere. So that's a problem. Okay, so chat ID is that, videos, key author details, ooh. Probably help if I call the right endpoint. Probably help immensely. But I also definitely need to pass in a part or not. Or not a part, the video token thing. Next token. Code not supported. Okay, we're getting crashes here, so I think that is going to be it for today. Okay. Yeah, so I'm getting there. Arduino JSON deserialized JSON failed with code not supported. I might be like not doing something. Oh, do you know what's could be part of the problem? I've refreshed my auth token since, but it's weird that it's working. Like, as in, some of the requests are working. Which doesn't kind of bode well for their auth token situation. Let me just update it anyways, see what happens. So when I try get the messages, it bombs out. Part ID snippet, max results 5, key looks right. Looks okay. Let me just check with Mr. Postman. Live chat messages. Postman is working, which makes me think that the buffer is not big enough, but normally it'd complain that the buffer is not big enough. Like, I took the exact request that depends on when you left and what your definition of joy is. I don't have any messages coming back yet. So I took the output from my serial monitor from here. So this is where we build up the request. And it didn't work. Why wouldn't it work? So it worked with Postman, and Arduino says failed with code not supported. So not supported. Why, Arduino, Jason? Why? Not supported. Okay, looks like I can add it. This one probably. Okay, so it crashed, but how do I? Let's put it on a notepad. This came back, including that smiley face, which I'm surprised about. So it's from a good while ago, but that is the messages back. crossed fingers emoji might have broke it. So it seems like it's trying to print garbage in my thing here. I could put update calls in the loop. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, it seems, yeah, like maybe my buffer isn't big enough. Wait, why is everything... I expect that to be 5. Or maybe it doesn't allow me to do 5. Results per page is 5. Yeah, there's only 5 there. It just looks like it prints garbage after that. Maybe I just need to... serial-print finished first round of done. So I'm just doing more printing to serial monitor. I just added a print statement after this because I want to see okay, I got an invalid input first time. My live chat ID goes to sugar. After the first one. Let's see where that's gone wrong. Serial dot print run. Which point putting it there? I need to put it into my maybe this is a job for the ESP32. The string copy isn't really doing anything at the moment, Trent, because I'm not using that next page token. Okay, so after the first time, my details gets corrupted. That's weird, isn't it? So in here, this pointer is getting corrupted. Buffer overflow. Could be. I don't know, let's make this... No, it's okay. Yeah, I don't do anything with page token at the moment, so the string copy isn't really doing anything. So there could be a buffer overflow or something, but it's not that. Probably. Maybe. Could be. I should get rid of the debug print. Failed with code invalid input. Failed with code invalid input. Don't know why it's failing that time. We'll always remember that one time it actually worked. Alright, it's nearly 1 o'clock, so I'm going to finish up. Yes, I'm not going to be chasing buffer overflows or memory leaks at the moment. Cheers, Eric. Yeah, I don't know what's up with it. Look, we'll save it up, see what see where we land with it in the future, but there's definitely something funky going on. So it worked once, sort of. So yeah, we are where we are with it. Should have worked on the Spotify one. Got it finished. Okay, so I'll just push this. Not working fully. But I'm gonna push it up to GitHub. So if anybody wants to see it, they can. It is up on my GitHub now. I'd have implemented the APIs in MicroPython. That's possibly true. Should probably look at that at some stage. But for now, we're not there. I just noticed that Bitlooney messaged me on Telegram trying to get his pop-up to show up. It didn't work, Bitlooney. I know you're not even here, but yeah, Samuel, if you want to look into that, I would be more than happy to accept any inputs from it or whatever. So I seen it work once, but it hasn't worked since. Like the first two requests seem to work fine. The get live video ID and get live chat ID, but then this get chat messages one doesn't seem to work. But yeah, if you want to take a look at it, that would be great. Right, I'm going to finish up, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I will talk to you again. Bye bye.